Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be continuing our series where we do full career simulations. We already done Connor Bedard, Tim Stützle. Next up we got Jake Guentzel of the Pittsburgh Penguins, one of the most underrated players on Pittsburgh. 87 overall, medium elite. No one talks when they all talk about Crosby, Malkin, everyone else in the squad, but Jake Guentzel's kind of the lost one. But he has turned out to be a really good player for the Pittsburgh Penguins. So we're going to do a full career simulation. Just the heads up, I don't control Pittsburgh at all, so I have no idea what's going to happen with Jake Guentzel's career. I'm going to be controlling the St. Louis Blues. Everything will be done by the AI. Let's get into it. Year number 1. And quickly, before we get started, 87 overall for Jake Guentzel. He has 257 points in 299 games, so almost a point per game. Let's get into it now. With year 1 in the books, Jake Guentzel has a pretty good regular season as he puts up 77 points in 82 games, 24 goals, 53 helpers, plus 7. Not bad, not bad. Guentzel does lead the Pittsburgh Penguins to the playoffs, but they play the Tampa Bay Lightning and get swept in 4. Even though they got swept in 4 games, Jake the Snake was pretty good, 5 points in 4 games. In year 2, it looks like Jake has gone up to an 88 overall, plus 1 from the last year. He's still playing with Sidney Crosby, and he's got a new line mate, Rocco Grimaldi, who looks very old. Oh my. He's only 29? I'm so sorry. Year 2, let's go. At the end of year 2, Guentzel has a huge year, 89 points, his career best. What a year from Jake, as he goes 27 goals, 62 helpers, 89 points, plus 25. Was that enough to help them finally win another Stanley Cup? It looks like Pittsburgh and Guentzel, they're just allergic. They hate this first round. They can't get out of it. For the second year in a row, they fall in the first round, this time to the Washington Capitals, who went all the way to the finals and lost to the Wild. In the 7 games in the playoffs, Guentzel did have 7 points, but he was a -6. So Jake, we got Jake the Snake, buddy. We got to clean up that defensive game. Once again, Jake Guentzel's overall goes up by 1 point as he is now an 89 overall in year 3. He's playing with an older Sidney Crosby and Vladimir Tarasenko, probably his best line combination since I started the simulation. Let's see if he can light it up and outscore himself from last year. Year 3, done and dusted, and Jake Guentzel puts up 81 points in 80 games. A little bit worse than he did last year, but still above a point per game, plus 22. Let's see if he was finally able to make it out of that first round. He did it! He made it out of the first round, but they lose in round 2 to the Tampa Bay Lightning. And so far, this was his worst year in the playoffs as he only puts up 7 points in 11 games. Jake, listen, buddy. If we're going to win a cup, we need more from you. Back for year 4 here, Jake Guentzel is now an 88 overall, playing still with Sidney Crosby and Vladimir Tarasenko. He was on his contract deal last year, so it looks like he signed an extension with Pittsburgh. 6 years at 10.26 mil, so it looks like he may end his career in Pittsburgh. Let's see how he does in year 4 of the digressing Pittsburgh Penguin squad. His first year of his $10 million deal, Guentzel once again puts up 81 points, plus 10, 52 penalty minutes, 55 helpers, 26 goals, 81 points. Not a bad season. It should be good enough to bring him to the playoffs. Does he finally get out of that second round, or does he fall? Do they even make it? Guentzel does lead Pittsburgh to the playoffs. They beat the Rangers in 7, but get absolutely smashed by the Florida Panthers as Edmonton wins the cup. Guentzel has a decent playoffs here, 9 points in 11 games, plus 3. They got the legend Michael Bunting on their team. I know the Leafs fans will love that. Year 5 here, Guentzel back up to an 89 overall, still playing with Sidney Crosby, 38 years old. Tarasenko, still got that first line together. So he is now 31 years old, 89 overall. Can he finally win another cup? Let's go, another year. With year 5 closing out, Guentzel has a career year, 100 points in 82 games, 30 goals, 70 helpers, just looks beautiful. And a plus 53. What a year. But was that enough to go to the playoffs and finally make it out of that second round? Let's check it out. Well, I mean, good news. They didn't lose in the second round this year, but they don't make it out of the first round. Come on, Jake. Good year in the regular season. What'd you do in the playoffs? The playoffs, he wasn't terrible, but again, 4.6 games, -4. You can't be minus in these playoffs. Guentzel is now the man of this team, 90 overall, the highest overall on the team. Still playing with old man Crosby and Vlad Tarasenko. Let's see if he can eclipse that 100-point mark once again. Year 6 in the books, and Guentzel was not nearly as productive as he was last year, but he still puts up 80 points, but only a +4. I wonder if that was enough to make the playoffs. And it's enough to make the playoffs, as Jake Guentzel is once again a Stanley Cup champion as he goes through the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Washington Capitals, Florida Panthers, and finally Vegas in the finals. There it is, another Stanley Cup for Jake Guentzel. Guentzel has an incredible playoffs as well, as he puts up 28 points in 25 games. That was good enough to give him the Conn Smythe Trophy to add to his collection. Coming off his Stanley Cup winning season, Guentzel is now an 89 overall, still playing with Crosby and Tarasenko. He is now 33 years old, and he's got 3 years left on his contract. Another year and another great campaign from Jake Guentzel, as he puts up 83 points in 82 games, 22 goals, 61 helpers, +3. And for the first time in this simulation, Jake Guentzel and the Pittsburgh Penguins do not make the playoffs. Jake Guentzel is back down to an 88 overall, and it looks like his superstar centerman Sidney Crosby finally calls it quits, as he's got a new superstar, Stuart Kessler, playing with him. So 88, 86, and then Jakub Vrana playing the right wing. How does he do without Sidney Crosby? With year 8 coming to a close, Guentzel has his worst year so far, only putting up 72 points in 82 games, which is still very good. Guentzel manages to make it back to the Stanley Cup playoffs, where he loses to 7 in Florida, who eventually went on to win the Stanley Cup. As usual, Jake Guentzel is great in the playoffs, putting up 14 points. We need him to be better, though. We need him to be better. He's now the man of this team. The 35-year-old Jake Guentzel is getting a little bit older here, as he is now down to an 86 overall with 1 year left on his contract. So this may be his last year playing for the Pittsburgh Penguins. In what could be his last year in a Pittsburgh Penguins uniform, Guentzel puts up 32 goals, 42 helpers, 74 points, and was a +3. Pittsburgh was able to make the playoffs, but they fall in the second round to the New York Islanders. And as usual, Guentzel gets the points in the playoffs, but was a -6, 10 points in 13 games. In the 10th year of the simulation, it looks like the Pittsburgh Penguins were able to re-sign Jake Guentzel to a 2-year deal, $6.66 million per year. 36 years old, he's playing with Kessler, and it looks like they also may have signed Tim Stützle in free agency. Guentzel has a huge bounce back here playing with Kessler and Stützle, as he scores 33 goals, has 56 assists, good for 89 points. This team definitely made the playoffs. The 36-year-old still got some jump in him. Unfortunately, though, not enough jump, as Pittsburgh gets ousted in round number 1. Once again, Guentzel has a pretty decent playoff, 6 points in 6 games. Year 11 of the simulation, and Guentzel gains an overall point, and he's now up to an 87 overall. New line mates, let's see what he's got. He still got it at 37. Guentzel puts up 89 points with another 27 goal year, 62 assists, +28. That combination up there is just beastly. Could they continue their dominance in the playoffs? They cannot, as they fall again in round 1 to the Buffalo Sabres. Old man Guentzel, he had a rough playoffs this time. 3 assists in 6 games, -4. Pittsburgh can't get enough of Jake Guentzel, as he signs another contract extension. This time 2 years at $8.29 million at 85 overall. At 38 years old, Jake Guentzel has his best season in the NHL, only playing 78 games, but acquiring 101 points, 35 goals, 66 assists. What a year from Jake Guentzel at 38. Guentzel was able to lead them all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, but Pittsburgh falls to Detroit, who wins the Stanley Cup. And in the playoffs, Guentzel, he was mediocre. I mean, pretty good though. 11 points in 13 games. Year 13 of the simulation, and Jake Guentzel remains on the first line, 84 overall. He's still playing with Kessler and Tim Stützle. It looks like the age of Guentzel is finally caught up to him as he puts up 61 points in 76 games. His worst season so far, minus 14. The Penguins also do not make the playoffs this year. At 79 overall, 40 years of age, it looks like Jake Guentzel finally finds his way to a new team as he's now playing first line left wing on the Vegas Golden Knights, who signed him to a 1-year, $4 million contract. At 79 overall, Guentzel had a really good year as he had 73 points in 74 games, 56 helpers, 17 goals, minus 14 though. Vegas was unable to make the playoffs though. Guentzel just refuses to retire. He is now playing on the Seattle Kraken as a 41-year-old, 77 overall. Let's see how he does in his first season with the Kraken as they signed him to a 2-year deal, 8.8 mil at 77. Oh my god. At 75 overall in his season with the Seattle Kraken, Jake Guentzel puts up 54 points in 81 games. And in the playoffs, he had 12 points in 14 games. Not bad, but they did not win the Stanley Cup. For some reason, he's just not appearing, and it looks like they sent him down to the AHL. And after 15 years of simulation, Jake Guentzel finally calls it a career as he is one of the most underrated players in the NHL. 1,461 points in 1,503 games. Was an absolute beast for so many years. Won 1 Stanley Cup, 1 Conn Smythe. But that is the career of Jake Guentzel. Thank you for watching. If you guys want to see any players in particular, let me know down in the comments. We're grinding to 2K subs. I'll see you guys soon. As always, have a great day. Cheers.